Do you think there's anything wrong with being trans?
When you say wrong, is it a moral claim, or wrong as in it's a false set of identity?
Either.
I don't think you're an immoral agent for thinking you're something you're not, but I think that saying someone whose body functions biologically like that of a male's is a female based off some social notion
Well, hold up. I
is
haven't said any of that. I have never said that my body biologically changes based off of some kind of social notion. But if you want to talk about the biological reality of my body, I am a transsexual. I take estrogen and progesterone, which induces some real biological changes in my sex characteristics. Now, not
yeah,
every
more.
sex characteristic I can change. Like, I know that taking estrogen isn't going to make my chromosomes magically swap. It's not going to make me able to get pregnant. But in terms of things like, my phenotype, my external perceivable sex characteristics, in terms of like having breasts, in terms of like, hormonal medical conditions, these are going to be much more in line with females. And that's just biologically true about me.
When I say function, I'm referring to the necessary quality that makes them that thing.
Oh, what is that
Like
necessary quality?
for women, it's more of a composite of parts.
Okay,
But
can you
it,
give me like
it
the set of
yeah,
necessary
yeah,
characteristics to be a woman?
to be a woman, the biological facility to provide, uh, basically facilitate a fetus, I guess.
Okay, I immediately disagree. Your
If
definition, your
infertile
definition
women
would
would still
exclude all infertile women.
no infertile women have the facility for it.
No, they don't. If they're
Yeah,
infertile,
they
they
do.
literally do not have the facility for it.
They have the necessary qualities to do it. They just can't.
No, they
Like if
don't. Wait, if they
so,
had
so
the
let me answer your
qualities, they
question.
could deliver a
Uh,
fetus, but they don't have the qualities. That's what
So
makes them infertile.
there are no necessary qualities to being a woman.
I would say that female. Are you asking about like woman or female? Because I view woman much more as like a social
I
category.
think if gender isn't
But if you're asking
if you're
about
saying that.
like necessary
So
qualities to be female,
is there a notion of womanhood that doesn't have a necessary quality to it?
yeah, absolutely. You can come up with
Then
sufficient qualities, not just necessary
then it's
qualities.
hold on. If it has no necessary qualities, then I think that whatever that thing is substanceless, and I've no reason to affirm that
Wait.
other than
Not everything
based on the
has
fault.
necessary qualities. Sometimes it has sufficient qualities. Do you understand that
Sufficient,
some things might have like sufficient qualities instead of just necessary qualities?
there'd still be something necessary to it. If there's no necessary qualities to be something, then what's sufficient is just it's its own thing.
Well, here's the thing.
It'd be
You can
referring
try
to
to
another
propose
necessary.
any kind of like necessary qualities to be a woman that you want, and I can poke holes in every single one of them. Because the thing is, your kind of system of there has to be like this necessary quality to be a woman just doesn't hold up in objective reality. Meanwhile, if we recognize, okay, well, there's this kind of broad cluster of characteristics we refer to as female, sex characteristics, some of them can be changed, some of them can't, but somebody could be a female in certain ways, or somebody could be a woman, even for like social reasons, if we're talking about womanhood, not just being female, then we can come up with these kind of broad clusters of sufficient
So
characteristics. And this doesn't
evolutionarily, what would
exclude any woman and is much better and much more accurate and closely aligns with how we descriptively, objectively, use terms like woman and female in practice.
what would be the you how would the dichotomy between male and female evolve? Like, why is that a thing?
Evolutionarily, there's not a clean dichotomy between male and female.
But
Evolutionarily, people come out as intersex all the time. It's exceptionally common for people to evolutionarily develop as intersex,
yeah,
and
it's a
that's just their
mutation.
natural evolution. Yeah.
It's a mutation, but again, whenever
Uh-huh.
someone
So
is
what if it's a mutation?
intersex, you
Like all
whenever
of
someone
us, every single one of us comes from mutations of genes.
man,
We're all mutations in our own ways.
yeah, I'm aware, but when it comes to the function of sex
So wait.
and how your body
If we're
works,
all
yeah,
mutated in some way, then like why does the mutation matter for why it can't be like valid in your eyes?
ethnic groups are mutated too. But when you refer to an ethnic, if you could biologically change yourself to be more like that, if a Georgian could biologically and phenotypically change himself to be more like that of a Jew, would you call that person a Jew? You would obviously say he's still an ethnic Georgian, because the biological reality is that he's
I
evolved
don't think
to
that
provide it.
race cleanly maps onto biology. Like race scientists have been trying to come up with like biological roots for race for as long as they've wanted to engage in scientific racism, but every time it's shown to just not be accurate that you can like biologically, map genes or characteristics cleanly onto race. It just doesn't work out like that.
Did I say race or ethnicity?
You said you can't do it with ethnicity either.
Yeah, you don't think there's very obvious distinctions between how certain ethnic groups are genetically from each other?
Correct. The distinctions are way, way, way muddier than race scientists would like to believe.
That's just wrong.
No, you can look into the science on this.
I could show you. I could show you very clear differences between different genome groups.
Oh, if you're talking about like broad generalizations or correlations, obviously there's going to be correlations within certain ethnic groups. But if you're trying to cleanly separate something out, it just does not work on that kind of scientific scale.
So if any person on this planet were to take a DNA test, we would know exactly where they came from because ethnic groups.
See, the funny thing about those DNA tests.
You gotta stop talking over me.
The funny thing about those DNA tests is that they don't point out exactly where somebody's from. Broadly, what they look at are collections of genes which are more commonly found in people from certain ancestries than other ancestries, but it does not exactly precisely pinpoint where your ancestors were from. It's just not accurate enough to do that.
Hold on, are you familiar with what a steamroll is?
A steamroll?
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
It's whenever you talk over somebody every time they try to make a point. And for one, it makes it difficult for me to respond. For two, and I know it cuts my mic off so I can't even talk over you because every time how can I talk over her if it cuts my mic off every time I talk?
I'm just addressing your point, my dude.
Yeah, if I'm speaking, you can't address my point.
Well, if you would like to be the one with the speaking power, you can host your own live. Like you came onto my platform.
Yeah, but again, if it's a debate, I think it's fair if both of us have a relatively equal amount of time to speak. If you're not going to let me speak, then you're not even debating.
We are debating. Like you bring up a point, and I'm telling you why your point is wrong. That's a debate.
But I'm not saying. Again, you're not letting me say the point. You're just cutting me off.
I am letting you say the point.
So every time you cut me off, I'm gonna just write it down. So what I'm saying is that when you take DNA tests, it's based off of certain ethnic groups evolved differently relative to their environment. Are you familiar with evolution science?
So, I want to be clear. When you're talking about DNA tests, you're only getting things that are approximate. You're not getting like clean distinctions because that's just not how these kind of DNA tests work.
You don't think Africans have clear genetic distinctions between Caucasians?
There are some general or broad genetic characteristics, but there are no clear distinctions.
There are very clear distinctions.
They are not clear. You can look into the science, which is the basis of like the 23andMe tests and all of these other things, and what you will find is that they are really not clear and concise and consistent. Like there is so much variation within the human genome that you are never going to consistently find like a gene that will separate one ethnic group from another.
It's not a particular gene for one. But the way their body functions is different because of the environment they evolved from. Like
how are their bodies functioning differently? But there's no genetic for that.
There is. That's just a falsehood.
I'm telling you that the genetics are not that clean. And wait, what do you mean by like body functioning differently based off of ethnicity?
For one, the amount of melanin they have, the thickness of their eyebrows, how big their noses, how big their ears are. If in certain areas they'd sweat more, so they have thicker eyebrows. In certain, you know why Arabs have longer eyelashes? It's because of the sand. Because people in that area who had longer eyelashes could see better. They were better when it came to fighting because the sand wouldn't hit them in the eyes.
Right, but you're never going to find like a clear genetic distinction. Well, hold on. I hear you. I understand that. What I'm saying, I hear you. I understand that. What I'm saying is that just because it might be true that generally, Arabs are going to have longer eyelashes, you're not going to find a clean genetic distinction such that all the people with long eyelashes or the long eyelash genes are going to be Arab, and then everybody who doesn't have that gene.
Point, by the way, hold on, because I'm sick and tired of these shenanigans. All right, every time I talk, you have to talk over me. What did I say?
Dude, there's no need to get triggered.
Then there's no need to talk over me. Okay.
Well, you were going on and getting into multiple points. I need to address your point before you can get on to the next one.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I should finish my
Whoa,
point.
dude, you're getting really emotional right now. I need you to take a deep breath. Like, we can't keep having this conversation as adults if you're just going to get emotional and triggered.
Sorry. I don't know what got into me. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I don't know. Okay, I'm calm now.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Could you say what you said again?
Yeah, so if you're talking about, like, generally speaking, certain ethnic groups or people might be more likely to have certain traits or certain genes based off of, ancestors, based off of certain, like, evolutionary advantages having to do with the region.
Yeah, so it's
sure,
not
that's
general.
true. But if you're trying to, hushy poo, 1 sec. But if you're
Oh, but
trying to
when I do it, it's not okay.
hushy poo. But if you're
Okay,
trying
don't call me
to,
boo.
but if you're
Okay,
trying
let's
to
calm
draw
down.
this kind of like clean distinction, such that based off of
It is a clean
somebody's genes
distinction.
alone, you can
It
tell
is a clean
exactly
distinction.
what their ethnic group is, that's just not true. It's based
That
on
is
an
true.
approximate
That's very
science.
true.
It's based on a
There's very clear
guesstimation.
distinctions.
And the thing
There's
is,
very clear distinctions.
hold up. Shush, 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 shush. I really need you to hushy poo and not get triggered for 1 minute. And what's really funny about bringing in all of this, showing just like, you seem to think that there's like a very clean biological distinction here, but the reality is a lot more muddy than that. The exact same thing is true about sex, which is what you got into this as an analogy for, and it highlights my point perfectly that, yeah, we might use female to broadly refer to a collection of characteristics like XX chromosomes, like estrogen being the dominant hormone, like, say, having breasts, but all throughout nature, we observe exceptions to those rules. We observe, intersex females that have XY chromosomes. This happens relatively frequently. We observe, say, like intersex men who grow breasts. We observe cases where somebody might have a phenotype which is very different from what we would expect for their hormones. All of these things are a lot muddier, and it really just goes to prove my point that when we're talking about, say, either biological sex or genetic factors that are related to ethnicity, that, yeah, we can paint some kind of general trends. There's some general characteristics we can kind of cluster together, but all of it is approximate. All of it is muddy and messy, and that's okay. Just accept that, like, the world is muddy and messy and complicated, and that this is a beautiful facet of human diversity.
You literally gave yourself so much time. You gave an outro and an intro to your point.
I know, because you were going to get so
triggered
triggered that we're probably not going to be able to continue the conversation.
To every sentence you say, and I can't even finish a single point. I let you speak for like 20 minutes just now, and you failed to respond to my point, and you gave yourself an outro.
I responded to your entire argument, and now you're getting so triggered.
So, do you think a European could have any kind of biological similarity to the point where we could confuse an Indo-European or an Aryan with an African? Could this ever
Absolutely.
happen?
Like,
You know what?
haven't you heard of people that are
Hold
like,
on, 'cause I am
haven't you ever heard the stories of somebody that's like the whitest boy you ever know doing
It's
a
not
DNA
phenotypes.
test and it coming back and saying that he has
Listen,
like
girl,
a bunch of
'cause it's
African
not
DNA?
phenotypes, girl.
That happens
'Cause it's not
all the
phenotypes,
time.
girl. Am I talking about phenotypes?
Partially.
Am I talking about phenotypes? I'm gonna ask you again.
You were partially.
Nuh-uh. I'm talking about the function of their body. I don't. Their
That is
being
phenotypic.
Hold on. Their nose being long isn't in reference to the way they look. It's the reference to how their body functions.
That's a
because they're
phenotypic
just-
characteristic.
Hold on. It's phenotypic in you see it, but phenotypic.
Wait, so why did you
refers-
get mad at me for saying it's phenotypic when
Now,
you just consider that it is
settle
phenotypic?
down now.
Okay, it's phenotypic in the sense that it's observable and it changes the way you interact with the person. But what I'm referring to is the genotype, the utility that this function provides. So it's not.
Wait,
phenotypical
genotype
that
is
you-
not utility. What? What
Oh
are
my
you
God.
saying?
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Hey, please
Don't
don't use
forget.
names. I'm trying to have a conversation as an adult.
How old are you?
I am 24.
You're 24.
Mhm.
Wow. This is what you do for a living?
Well, I mean, I'm a mom. I do research.
You are not a mom.
Yeah, I literally
Wait,
have
are
3
you?
children.
Are you a trans man or a trans woman?
I'm a trans woman.
Oh, hold on. You're a mom, so.
Yeah, I have 3 children.
Did you, like-
I do research. I'm a graduate student.
So
I'm a
how'd
PhD student.
how'd you get to work on the kid?
How did I have children?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm married a woman
To
who had
Oh, you're a
children from a
lesbian?
previous marriage, and now I'm their stepmom.
Oh, so you don't actually have. You're not a mom. You're stepmom.
A stepmom is a type of mom.
It's not a mom though.
Wait, you don't think that a stepmom is a mom?
No. When
How
you say
how
I'm
is a
mom, what
stepmom
does that
not a
sound
mom?
like?
In every
They aren't your
social,
kids.
functional way, I am the mother to these children.
No, you're not. Did you give birth to them?
No. Do you think that you have to give birth to a child to be their mom?
How else would you be their mom?
Through adoption, through marriage. There are many
You're
ways that somebody can
trans
become a
stepmom?
mom. like
Hold on.
there's not the
How did-
it's not true that the only way you can be a mom is by giving birth to a kid. Especially
Hold on,
recognize that like
just-
somebody might give birth to a kid and then abandon that kid. Somebody adopts that kid. You're gonna say that the person who gave birth and abandoned the kid is the kid's mom, but the person who adopted the kid isn't their mom? That's crazy.
Hold on, ma'am. How old are the kids?
Yeah, so my youngest is 1 year old and my oldest is 5 years old.
Oh, so they're not teenagers. If they were, I was gonna ask how they felt about having. Yeah, do you think you should be allowed to be a mother?
Yeah,
Or a
absolutely.
stepmother? 'Cause you're not a real mother.
I love and care for my kids dearly. Wait, what were you gonna
And
ask if
you
they were
could love them.
teenagers?
Because I'm sure they wouldn't be too happy about having a trans stepmom or a role play mom.
Why do
or
you say they
role-play
wouldn't be
woman
happy
as a
about that?
mom.
Like, my kids love me as their mother, and I never, like, required them to call me their mom. When I was coming into the family, it was always like, you know, if you guys want to call me mom, if you guys want me to be your mom, I can be your mom. And all of my
Can you,
kids call
though?
me mom.
Can you though?
Yes, that's how adoptive and stepmotherhood works. That's
Can
literally
you
how
be a
adoptive
mom,
and
though?
stepmotherhood works.
So could you breastfeed?
Yeah, I actually did breastfeed my kid.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, I had doctors run tests and everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need your home address because I need to call the police. That's child abuse.
How is
A
that
man
child
should not
abuse?
be-
I
a
literally,
man should
you know,
not
it's really
be-
funny.
A man should not be.
It's
hold on.
really funny when
A
I
man
when I
should
went
not
through
be
this whole
breastfeeding their
discourse
child.
online about me breastfeeding my child. There was this crazy right winger who actually did try to call the cops on me for giving my child food, and what the cops told him is that it's not a
He's doing
crime.
God's
It's
work.
not a crime to feed a child. So I don't know how it's a crime.
Where
I'm
do you
just
live?
feeding a
What
child.
state do you live in? Hold on. You don't think it's a crime to feed a child
It's
something
not
that
a
you're
crime to
supposed
feed a
consume?
child.
You shouldn't feed a child something that it shouldn't consume, like man milk. You're
What's wrong
you're
with
feeding
what's
your
wrong
kid
with my
man
breast
milk?
milk? Like literally, I had doctors test the nutritional contents of my breast milk, and it was found to be perfectly healthy and within reference levels of cis women's breast milk.
Okay, but could your man milk like make them trans too?
How would that even
Is it like
work?
contagious?
What are you talking? How would that even work? No, breastfeeding a child does not make them trans. Hello, hello.
Oh, I was not talking bad about you. I swear to God.
Are
I
we
was
back?
just telling
Okay.
them-
Yeah, it looks like my internet went out for a second. That was weird.
Did you hear anything? You didn't hear anything I said, right?
I have not heard anything for the past like minute or two, apparently.
Mashallah, mashallah. So I was just saying that I think you're a wonderful person. I've been having a lot of fun in this debate. So can we continue?
Yeah. So last we were on, I was telling you it's not a crime to feed a child.
Do you think it's a crime to give a child alcohol?
Yeah, so it's a crime
I
to
don't- I don't
it's a
think
crime to
it's-
give a child alcohol because alcohol is harmful for children.
Yeah, I think man milk is pretty harmful for children.
Wait, what's the harm? I literally had doctors test the nutritional content of my breast milk, and it was found to be within reference levels of cis women's breast milk.
Could you prove that?
Yeah, I literally have test results.
I don't believe anything you're saying. I don't
Yeah,
think the
you
cops
can go
actually
to
went
you
your
can go
house.
to my
Hold on.
x.com profile. I can literally show
I
you the
feel
test
unsafe.
results.
Okay, the thing is,
Hold up. I
me
can
see.
pull up test results for you. 1 second. 1 second.
let's see the results. Let's see the results. Do you think we're friends now?
No, you were saying a lot of mean things to me when my internet was down, and I don't think that's very cool.
Nuh-uh. No, I wasn't.
You were. Chat was
You
telling
said
me
you
all
couldn't
about
hear
it.
me. You said you couldn't hear me.
You think that chat wouldn't tell me all about it?
Chad doesn't know anything.
What do you
Chat's
mean? They were
lying.
literally here. They were literally here when I wasn't.
Like Nazis were there when you were.
Here we go. I found it. Okay, so let me open up the other. If you can look on my screen, I have the test results from the laboratory that tested my breast milk, and it's probably a little bit hard to see on the screen, but you can pull up the post itself. All of the nutrients were within the reference levels. The light gray are reference levels for normal healthy milk from lactating cis women, and then the little green marker was my test result, and all of the nutrients were within the gray bars, which is where you want it to be.
Who established these gray bars as where it wants to be?
That was from Lactation Labs.
Could I have their phone number, please?
Yeah, it's a public business. You can look it up. Just like search
Um,
Lactation Labs.
Hold on. Is it true that Lactation Labs was founded by 3 bald Jewish men?
I believe it was founded by some mothers.
No, it says here their names are. Hold on. It says here the founders are Ezra Cohen.
No, the founder is
Daniel
Stephanie
Horowitz,
Canali.
and Jacob Bernstein.
No,
sorry?
The founder is Stephanie Canali, MD.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at right now, but over here it
I'm
says.
looking at the website of the lab that I went to. I don't know if you got the wrong website, if it was that hard for you to Google Lactation Lab.
Hold on, let's not hurl insults. I've done nothing but be nice to you. I don't know why you're insulting my intelligence right now.
Well, I gave you the name, and apparently you're on like the wrong website, because I went to the website myself, went to the About Us, our team, and it says the founder is Stephanie Canali, MD.
And what is their ethnic background?
I'm not sure. Why would that matter?
New
Why would that
topic.
matter?
New topic.
Wait. Why would why would her ethnic background matter?
I'm just asking.
But why does it matter?
What's your ethnic background?
I'm not entirely sure.
You don't know what your ethnic... Oh, so you're a mutt, basically.
I mean, I don't know what my ethnic background is.
What were your parents?
They were some mix of like European and probably some other things too.
How do you know they were European?
I know that on my dad's side, my family came from Germany.
Oh.
How do they feel about the 1940s?
They think that Nazis are cringe. Yeah, my grandpa fought in World War II and killed Nazis.
Okay. So how does your conservative grandfather feel about your current situation?
Well, he's dead, but he's not a fan of Nazis. He fought them in a war, in World War II to be precise.
Okay, so how does your father feel about this current situation?
About what current situation?
The role play thing.
What role play are you talking about?
What define role play real quick?
Like playing pretend for enjoyment.
Doesn't sound familiar.
I mean, I like role play games. I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, so if I were to put a wig on.
Yeah, my
put
dad
some
thinks that
blue
Dungeons and Dragons is pretty
shirt.
cool. You play Dungeons and Dragons?
You think your grandpa landed on D-Day for trans stepmoms?
Yeah, absolutely. My grandpa loved me very much before he passed away.
What did he know that you'd end up being a LARPer?
That I played like Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah.
Are you still playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Absolutely. It's a fun game. You should try it.
Oh, what's your character's name?
I've played lots of different characters. It depends on the campaign.
The one you're playing right now.
I'm kind of
You
in
said you're
between
playing right now.
campaigns right now.
Oh, but
Yeah.
are you in one right now?
No, I'm between campaigns right now.
So what are the characters that you're playing?
Are you asking about like characters I've played in the past?
So I mean, when you were born, your name wasn't Naomi, and then it became Naomi. So what's the character?
That's
Naomi?
correct. People can change their names. Have you not heard of that before?
How long have you been a Destiny fan for?
I would not say that I'm a Destiny fan.
You look like if Destiny put on a wig and was less. I don't know.
Well, you know, Destiny is a girl's name, so
You know, your chat seems to really like you. They're not really fond of me. I wonder why.
probably
But the thing-
because
I
you
don't know,
were
I don't-
incredibly rude and got extremely emotional and just really had no logical arguments.
Excuse you?
I said what I
What are
said.
you referring to? What are you referring to?
Yeah, so like every single one of your arguments fell apart under even the slightest scrutiny. You came into this
Fell
conversation
apart?
saying that a woman is,
Hold
by
on.
necessity, is somebody that is capable of giving
Hold
birth,
the
and that fell
frick
apart under the most
on.
most
What's your
minor
PhD
scrutiny.
in?
Oh, I'm a
What's your
PhD student
PhD
in
in?
computer science.
What's your PhD in?
Computer science.
Okay, how exactly do you get a PhD in computer science?
Because I'm good with computers.
You're good with computers.
Huh?
Did you spend a lot of time on Discord growing up?
No, I got Discord when I was an adult.
Are you aware of the correlation between autism and transism?
Yeah, I mean, I am also autistic.
Oh! Well, there we go. So,
What's
how
wrong
do you
with
know how do you know that this isn't just an autistic fixation on womanhood and you're actually a trans woman?
Yeah, because I'm much happier. I live a much better life since I've transitioned. I feel much more comfortable in my own body. I feel much more comfortable existing socially, like, as a woman. This is just much easier for me to live and exist as a woman. So
I mean, because you felt included, right?
I felt included back when people thought that I was a guy, but that just didn't feel right. That didn't feel congruent between my mind and my body.
Were you a virgin when you were a guy?
No, I was not.
How many bodies did you have when you were a guy? By
A
the way, I'm
couple.
autistic, so everyone knows I'm autistic.
Okay.
I'm just making that clear. But what if I feel more comfortable, going around people?
So that's pretty terrible because that harms people.
What if I just imagine I do it?
I mean, I can't police your thoughts, but
But
if your thoughts are about harming people, then you should probably see a therapist about that.
Hold on. Do you not think feeding a baby man milk is harming people?
Feeding my child did not harm anyone. Specifically, I had doctors run
I
tests
think
on the nutritional
I
contents of my
think-
milk, and I showed you those test results in this conversation.
Yeah,
Like,
I think.
where's
I think
the
those
harm?
doctors were
Wait, where's the
corrupt. I
harm?
think those doctors were corrupt. I think they wanted to get that paycheck. I don't think babies should be fed man.
You do know that like when I sent in my test results, the lab didn't know that I'm trans. They wouldn't have any incentive to
Hold
like
on,
fake
I
results.
think I know the confusion here. Did they test it for the negatives, like AIDS and HIV?
Yeah, they didn't find any negatives.
Did they test it for HIV and AIDS?
I'm pretty sure they don't test milk for HIV and AIDS routinely, but
So how
I
do you
have
know
had
you're-
STI tests done, and they came back entirely negative.
Yo, there's no way.
What do you mean? There's no way?
Hold on. Someone just called me an Armenian slur in the chat.
What's the person? I don't see anything.
The full username is Kyle the Animal Boy.
I mean, if somebody's calling someone slurs, then my moderation team
It's like
should
the
ban
equivalent
them.
of the N-word to me. It's like the equivalent of the N-word to me, but I'm Armenian. But
Okay,
people
yeah. I
don't
mean,
care
my
what Armenians are
moderation
called
team
slurs.
should ban people who are saying slurs.
Can you
However,
ban?
that this doesn't give you permission to run away from the argument at hand.
Hold
I was
on,
asking you,
I'll
like,
address
where
the
is the
argument
harm
after
in my
Kyle
breast
bans. Can Kyle
milk?
be
Like,
banned,
where's the
please?
harm?
Can Kyle _the_ Animal Boy be banned from the live, please?
I don't see that person in chat, but yeah, I want my mod team to investigate that. So please don't worry about the chat anymore. My mod team is investigating.
Okay, fine.
Chill.
Fine. What are we talking about?
So you were trying to tell me what's the harm in me breastfeeding my child, and you didn't have anything.
Do you think a male dog is breastfeeding their kids?
That is a completely different situation. I'm asking you, where's the harm in my breastfeeding of my children?
Hold on. Is that another slur in the chat, Avo? Because it's a generic Armenian name? Is that what that was?
My dude, I'm watching the chat, and that's not happening.
Someone just said Avo. Why am I being called Avo?
I'm literally watching the chat, and that's not happening.
Someone said Avo in the chat.
Dude,
Hold
stop
on,
making up
hold
something.
on.
My mod team
It
hasn't
says-
found
wait,
hasn't
Darby
found
said
anything
Avo is so
because you're just
fragile.
lying. My dude, you don't need to
Darby
lie.
said in the chat. Darby said in the chat, Avo is so fragile.
I
is she saying
I
these
literally
things?
didn't see that. My mod team was investigating. They haven't found anything. My dude, stop getting triggered and try to have a conversation with me.
screenshot it, And
Look,
I will post it
Avi,
on Twitter. I've been
Avi,
recording this entire live.
Avi,
Everyone's
Avi,
gonna know
if you're just
you're
gonna get so
ableist,
triggered,
racist who hates
Avi,
Armenians.
if you're just gonna get so triggered and that you can't even have a conversation with me, I need to ask you, stop watching the chat. Oh, he left. Yeah, okay. Obviously what he was doing was he was so triggered and upset that he had literally no points that he could stand on that he just ran because he had nothing to go off of, so he just had to pretend that he was triggered by chat. Yeah, I mean, like, if people are saying Armenian slurs, I don't think you guys should do that. I didn't see anything like that happening in the chat. My mod team will take action if things like that are happening, because I do take that seriously. But you just got blown the heck out, my dude. But as far as... And then he had to jump to, like, because he didn't have anything to go off of about my breast milk, when I literally presented him the nutritional content lab results of my own breast milk, he had to say, what if, like, a dog breastfed a kid? What? Like, dogs are obviously going to have different milk nutritional contents that are not right for newborns. Just like you shouldn't feed a newborn baby cow's milk, but I bet he doesn't know that because it seems like he wouldn't know any of, like, the basic parenthood stuff.
Hey, I'm Darby. I'm they them, but I it was me, and it was literally just an autocorrect that I didn't catch.
I think it might be like a bad faith tactic. I think that when
Yeah,
I first added him onto the
whatever.
chat, somebody said that, like, they recognized him and he was just like a bad faith troll. So it's very possible. I don't even know if that is a slur, but it's very possible that, like, he would do
I mean,
that.